Chapter 1: The Foundation of Wisdom and Leadership. Nassim Nicholas Taleb, renowned for his work on risk and uncertainty, also offers a quiet, profound guide for leaders who wish to embody wisdom. He once said in his book Barbarians at the Gates that true wisdom is the art of living within our limits and recognizing the limits of others. This idea shapes a leadership style that prizes humility, resilience, and foresight. A story from his own life illustrates this point. Early in his career, Taleb worked as a trader on the trading floor of the New York Stock Exchange. He observed that many traders shouted orders without thought, riding the noise of the market. In contrast, the slow, patient traders who listened to history and maintained an attitude of modesty held the most capital. That observation led Taleb to develop his concept of skin in the game, a rule that the decision-maker must personally bear potential losses. Leaders who impose this principle create environments where wisdom grows. Motivational insight. When you place consequences on your own shoulders, you're forced to think more carefully. This self-interest compels deeper analysis and reduces the temptation to chase fleeting gains. Practical lesson: ask yourself, do your decisions affect you personally? If not, put a small personal stake in them, perhaps a symbolic dollar, a public promise, or a time-locked commitment. This will sharpen your judgment and foster trust among your team. Concrete example: imagine you're leading a project that requires budget reallocations. Before finalizing, commit a portion of your own resources as a form of risk sharing. This demonstrates confidence and aligns the team's interest with yours. Conclusion: Taleb reminds us that wisdom and leadership are inseparable when leaders accept personal responsibility. By giving skin in the game, you foster authenticity, humility, and deeper learning. Like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question: what decision in your life could you tie a personal stake to so that you think more deliberately about its outcome? Chapter 2: Key Principles and Strategies for Wisdom and Leadership. Taleb's teachings can be distilled into 4 core principles that serve as a compass for leaders: humility, redundancy, antifragility, and the use of narrative. Humility: Taleb writes that the best way to avoid being wrong is to admit you can be wrong. Acknowledging uncertainty curbs ego and opens space for collaboration. Redundancy: he argues that systems that are robust possess multiple backup pathways. A leader who builds redundancy into processes reduces bottlenecks and increases flexibility when crises arise. Antifragility: this unique concept means that a system improves when exposed to stress. Taleb suggests that a leader should design feedback loops that turn challenges into growth. Learning from failure becomes a strategic advantage. Use of narrative: Taleb emphasizes the power of stories to shape perceptions. Effective leaders craft stories that embed values, lessons, and future aspirations. Motivational insight: by marrying humble acknowledgement of uncertainty with resilient structures, leaders create environments that not only survive shocks but thrive because of them. Practical lesson: incorporate redundancy early. Whether it's hiring a second specialist, creating parallel data backups, or training a cross-functional team, small layers act like insurance against failure. Concrete example: a startup might reserve 10% of its equity to set aside for a future strategic hire. If that hire fails, the company still has the buffer. If the hire succeeds, the additional equity accelerates growth, making the firm more antifragile. Conclusion: Taleb's 4 principles coalesce into a powerful leadership philosophy that rewards modesty, prepares for the inevitable, and turns volatility into an ally. Like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question: how can you introduce redundancy into one area of your organization to transform a potential failure into an opportunity? Chapter 3: Taleb in Action. Taleb's own career offers concrete examples of how he lived these principles. His successful exit from the trading world came partly from his early adoption of a narrative skepticism mindset. In 2007, Taleb predicted the 2008 financial crisis. Many dismissed his views as utopian, but he stood behind his thesis with personal capital. When the market crashed, he realized his conviction had paid off. His book Antifragile became a bestseller. The story shows his commitment to skin in the game and humility. He never pretended to know everything. Another story is his participation in the Barbarians at the Gates debate. He challenged the prevailing views of the top investment bank, insisting that the model-based approaches were unknowable. Though he faced ridicule, his insistence on rigorous questioning preserved his integrity and earned respect. Motivational insight. When you openly confront widely held beliefs, you push the boundaries of collective wisdom. Leaders who dare to question unexamined narratives create a space where innovation can flourish. Practical lesson: emulate Taleb by scheduling regular, critical review sessions for your team. Assign each member a model or practice and ask them to question its assumptions. Encourage them to bring evidence or counter-examples. Concrete example: if your product relies on a certain consumer behavior model, have one team member map out scenarios where that behavior fails. Share the findings with the entire group and adjust your strategy accordingly. Conclusion: Taleb's career demonstrates that real wisdom emerges from relentless inquiry, personal risk, and a culture that values healthy skepticism. Like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question: in what way can you challenge the status quo within your organization without compromising your credibility? Chapter 4: Practical Applications for Modern Life. The world moves faster than ever, yet Taleb's principles remain universally applicable. Here are ways you can apply wisdom and leadership in everyday scenarios: corporate boardrooms, community projects, or personal development. First, embrace uncertainty by practicing small bets. Leaders who launch multiple pilot projects simultaneously learn which ideas survive. This aligns with antifragility. The more exposures a project has, the higher the chance it'll adapt and thrive. Second, integrate redundancy in your time management. Schedule buffer periods around major deadlines and delegate tasks in a way that you can step in if a teammate falls short. This prevents bottlenecks and ensures continuity. Third, cultivate narrative skills. Whenever you communicate a vision, weave a story that resonates with your audience's values. Use simple anecdotes from real experiences to illustrate complex concepts. This makes your message memorable and inspires alignment. Motivational insight. By acting as both a risk-taker and a safety net, you balance daring with prudence. Leading in such a manner cultivates trust, reduces fear, and encourages creative solutions. Practical lesson: at the start of each week, identify one risky hypothesis about your project's direction. Allocate a tiny portion of budget or time to test it. If it fails, no major loss occurs. If it succeeds, you gain momentum. Concrete example: running a marketing campaign, try a single untested channel, e.g., a niche social media platform with a small budget. Measure the results. This approach reflects a skin-in-the-game experiment that either informs future strategy or remains a harmless test. Conclusion: Taleb's wisdom can be seamlessly woven into daily routines, turning every decision into an opportunity to grow and to lead with integrity. Like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question: which area of your routine is currently rigid, and how can you insert a small, low-stakes experiment to infuse flexibility? Chapter 5: Conclusion and Next Steps. Taleb's legacy teaches us that wisdom is not a static trait, but a dynamic practice embedded in how we lead. By embracing humility, building redundancy, cultivating antifragility, and mastering narrative, leaders can navigate uncertainty with grace and effectiveness. To apply this path forward, start with a personal audit. Assess where you bear skin in the game. If you lack personal stake in outcomes, identify simple ways to add it. Commit a budget, set public goals, or allocate time for reflection. Next, design redundancy into at least one key process, whether that's a backup system or cross-training among staff. Finally, practice framing your team's mission through stories that embody your values and lessons. Motivational takeaway: the more you let uncertainty guide your learning curve, the stronger your leadership will become. Wisdom blooms when we confront the unknown with humility and turn trials into fertile ground for growth. Like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question. After this journey through Taleb's teachings, what personal change will you commit to today that will deepen your wisdom as a leader?